do you think? Sound good?
This is it sounds great. It's a very sick setup, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're the first one.
Of the day?
Yeah, at Riverside. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You're the first one.
Oh, cool.
And this is only the third time I've ever done this at a show, like ever. Like third sit down.
Really? I'm honored.
So
that's awesome.
I'm trying to like dial in the audio because there's all sorts of ambient noise around.
Yeah. Like you'll never get rid of the music.
No, but we had it turned down just a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah.
So,
that was great.
All right, dude. So.
Oh, are we live?
Oh yeah, we're recording.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So vibrant performance at Riverside for the first time.
First time ever. First time vending. First time selling swag. First time at Riverside.
Wow, so a bunch of firsts.
My first time here. My first time with my car in Tennessee. So,
Toronto, Canada too, right?
Yeah, so we trailered our cars down. Typically, I'll drive it. I like driving my cars. I'm like you.
Yeah.
You build it to drive it.
Yeah.
Make it comfortable. But decided it's too salty still. So kind of like New Hampshire.
Yes.
Decided throw it on a trailer. It's safer, no headaches. Plus it's a work trip, so I don't want to deal with the problems I usually deal with.
Yeah. And so you brought your S124 Estate.
Yeah.
And you've had that car done for quite a while now, right?
Yeah. So that's my fourth car. I think with my life of owning S124s, it's been about 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
This one I've had for 5 years. I got really lucky with it. But I knew what I was going to do because I spent all the research. I bought all the parts ahead of time. I mean, I probably spent 10 grand on the air ride system alone.
Yeah.
But collected over time, it didn't seem so bad. No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Coffee delivery.
You have to have coffee.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, so I wasn't sure if that was if that was your first S124 wagon. So that's your fourth one?
First properly built. I actually daily drove 2 of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're my favorite looking wagon. I think they're like the best body lines of a wagon ever made.
So I actually got it because I used to do videography for Vibrant before I became marketing manager.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, this would be the ultimate rig video, like car.
Yes.
I could sit in the back seats, aim out the back, pop the hatch. It has the roof rack. I could mount, rig up something with carbon fiber poles and just have a controller inside.
Right.
Never ended up doing that.
Yep.
Because you know how expensive camera gear gets. You know how expensive building rigs is. Ended up making the car cool and fun for myself, and I fell in love with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Futuras, since you finished it?
That's my second set.
Second set.
I have a set of Cygnus.
Oh, cool.
Not on it yet.
Yeah.
It's going to come from when I revamp the car a bit.
Awesome.
So it's going to get manual swapped. It's going to become, it's going to have 18s on it, which will give you the Cygnus.
Yep.
And I have a walled kit going on the car.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
But I'm thinking that's going to be a next year thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So your time and you and I have kind of talked about this before, but for the sake of being here now, your start at Vibrant. So it's a really cool story. So run us through that real quick.
So you know what? Before I start, I brought something for you.
Oh, no way.
Canadian maple syrup.
A taste of home.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, I'll get more for you next time. That's why I buy the little bottles, because some people don't like it. They don't care for it, right?
So those listening, he just gifted me a small Canadian pure maple syrup little jug. And being from New Hampshire, we are in the land of maple syrup up there. So now that I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's a little harder to get good stuff. So this, dude, thank you
no
so
problem,
much.
Of course. Yeah,
I'll take this to Waffle House with me.
You have to. I can't stand table syrup.
No.
As a Canadian,
same deal.
Maple syrup ruined it for me. I have to have it every time now.
Coming from New Hampshire, you cannot. It's like, I mean, you can use regular syrup, but it ain't even coming close. It's so good.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, man.
No, of course.
So Vibrant. It's a cool story because it's a true. And if we were going to talk about anything in this short episode, it would be the entrepreneurial attitude you had about it when not knowing that's what you just were.
I never saw myself coming here. If 10 years ago you said, hey, you're gonna be a marketing manager for Vibrant and you're gonna be bringing your car and you're gonna be dealing with some of the best people in the industry, working with the best team back home. I would never thought that was a possibility. But I guess to start, we should tell people what Vibrant is.
Yeah, please. Explain why you're here at Riverside.
Yeah, so Vibrant is a company that, we're Canadian. We manufacture intake, exhaust, and fluid delivery components. And the way I want to sum it up, because we have 3,600 SKUs, the easiest way to sum it up is we are the veins of the vehicle. That's what we provide. We don't do any engine components. We do fittings, hoses, aluminum tubing.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
because the veins. That's a great way to put it.
It needs to breathe, and you need to get the oil. You need to get the fuel across. We have, and we go from every tier. So anything from like someone that's doing an OEM resto, like just needs regular basic rubber hose, nothing special. We have that. But if you're building a crazy race car and you're going to run methanol like Riley Stair, you're going to need PTFE hose. It needs to be lined because you're going to run the alcohol through it and it's not going to permeate. Yep. So we offer every single option. We have titanium, we make mufflers, exhausts, hangers, and flanges. Anything you can imagine. Yep. It's like almost like the Home Depot. You can't come to me and say, hey, I have a Volkswagen. Do you have a muffler I can buy? Well, yes, but no. You have to make it. Right. Like you can't go to Home Depot and make a deck by saying, hey, can you build me a deck? Yeah. We'll provide you the wood and the nails and the tools. Yeah, but exactly. That's it. Yep. So I knew about the company for a while because it was local to us. It's the only big manufacturer in Canada, especially at the time. And back then they were doing everything that we're doing now. I felt that it wasn't marketed properly. So there was not enough. There was no Instagram account. There was no like YouTube videos that were getting progressively like better every time. It was just like a couple of videos they posted, a couple of fabricators, which were great, but it wasn't consistent enough. They weren't on the streets. No, essentially. Yeah, exactly. It was like, yeah, exactly. And I at the time I was in university, but I was playing around with my camera. And Peter Christopoulos is a really good drifter. Anyone that watches the Hoonigan series, they might have seen him. He's gone to SEMA, and he's one of the guys that shreds the car so hard until it catches fire. Yep. So I knew him 10 years ago, and he said, I shot his car for a couple of photos, and he said, hey, why don't you do a video? And I told him straight up, I've never done a video before, but I could try it. I think I could be good at it. It will be similar to my photos. But yeah, if you want to give me a chance, I'll do it. So we have this concert called Osheaga. It's in Montreal. Yep. I went to go check it out. I got to see, Snoop Dogg. I got to see The Weeknd. It was like a crazy festival. And on the way back, that's when I was supposed to meet up with Peter at the track. There's a track that's in between Montreal and Toronto. Okay. And I literally had, I think, $10 of coins in my car and had no money. And I'm full student lifestyle. Oh, yeah. I went to the track and they're like, it's $10 to get in. And I'm like, I don't have any money. She's like, well, then you're not getting in. So I'm looking through my car and I pulled out like $10 in coins. I'm like, I'm so sorry, it's just coins. She's like, it's fine, you're good to go. Insane. I go in, we did like a couple laps around the track. I was like in a Honda CR-V. I popped the back window and I was just like hanging out of the car. And I went back home, and in a month I put together my first video. And I put it up. I think it's got like a lot of views now. It got pretty popular throughout the years. Yeah. But knowing, like I was in CCIT is the name of the program, Communication Culture and Information Technology. It's a marketing course in the University of Toronto. Yep. And I was learning about what's important when you're trying to like get like content out. And it's tagging everyone, making sure you make sure you send the video to all the right companies. So what I did was I tagged all the companies that sponsored the car. Right. So there was Vibrant, all the wheel brands, the suspension. I tagged everybody in. Right. And at the time, the director of marketing and sales, he was on the Facebook account and saw it. He's like, this is awesome. He calls me, and I lost my mind. He's like, yeah, I saw your video. I want you to come in for an interview. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll come in. So I told him straight up, like, this is like the first video I did. I think more, but I'm in school. So he's like, why don't you can quit school. I'll give you a job right now. I told him, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to do this the right way. And then I'm going to come back and work for you. Which that takes a lot of resolve. Yeah, to not like, well, what's the point in finishing school if I'm getting a job? Yeah, like this is my end goal, and the end goal is presented in front of me. But the way I looked at it is, what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit there and be a videographer for the rest of my life. I know it's not a feasible thing. Right. I could tell, like, just from taking the history of technology, I saw how it went from VHS to, and it just grew its way. Right. And so I know making videos with myself is not going to be the future. I mean, we're going to end up having AI making videos for us, right? Yeah. So you need to adapt. And I thought, if I have a degree, that's like kind of the proof to say, you can do it. Yep. I'm going off course here, but so I came in for an interview off the basis of that one video that you just tagged them. That's it. And they loved it. And I told them, I'll make product videos for you on the side. I'll do contract work for you. So I made a bunch of product videos in my mom's basement. Yep. I went to the Michael's craft store. I bought a bunch of white cardboard, and I just like made a fake photo room. I took lamps and I just lit it up, and I took my mom's old vinyl record player, and I had the product spinning, and I just manipulated it to go slow. I took mufflers and I shot hairspray through it with a lighter, so it looked like there was flames coming out of an exhaust.
That's
and
cool.
I edited it all together, and I presented it to them. I'm like, here's the package. They were so happy with it.
Wow.
And 2 years later, I finished school. I gave them a call, and they're like, well, you know, we have a marketing manager. We're kind of happy with what he's doing. Everything's going great. And I told them, like, look, just give me a chance. I'll come in, and if you like what I do, you can hire me. If you don't, we'll be good at what we do.
Right.
So they gave me a 6-month contract. I started making videos for them. 3 months in, I was full time.
That's awesome.
4 years later, the marketing manager at the time, he did a great job, but he was very old school. And he focused on things that are not like future media, like social media, like doing constant content that everyone is dependent on today. I mean, like TikTok now is insane. Like everyone needs videos. So 4 years later, he quit. I went to the owner and I told him, I'm like, I want that position, and I think I got it. And he's so busy with it. He's running 2 or 3 companies right now, and he's 76 years old. God bless his soul. He's coming into work every single day. And he's like, well, I know you make good videos, but you think you can be a manager? And I said, absolutely. I have my University of Toronto degree right here. And he's like, oh, you went to school for this? I'm like, absolutely. So it paid off. End of the day, I wouldn't have been able to become a manager because I wasn't qualified for it. So I had another interview with my owner and the whole team, the whole management team, and I showed them everything I've been doing on the side. I mean, I would be going home at night after working at Vibrant 8 hours, and I would be on the Instagram posting things. So Vibrant_performance for the first 6 or 7 years was everything me, like posting, finding content, like sending DMs to people building cars saying, I love that you're using a little bit of Vibrant. And they're like, oh my God, like you're actually speaking to me? You're a big account. And I'm like, love everything you're doing. And I was promoting the brand, and here we are today. I've been there 8.5 years.
Wow.
And I love it.
Wow,
I love
that's
it.
awesome.
I work with a very strong team. I have a great boss. Everyone's like a family there. And literally they are family because the owner has majority of his family working at Vibrant.
Wow. That's awesome, man. I mean, that's such a good, I mean, I wanted you to tell that story because it's such a testament to like focusing and like and making sure you do things the right way and just like following through with things. Like many people don't follow through with things because the outlook many would have is you got the job offer, and the whole point of going to school is to get a job, so why not just take the job? So but it turned out that finishing and following through and worked out in
honestly
the end.
Patience, because nowadays especially I don't see patience ever. Somebody wants to start a YouTube channel.
Oh, dude, hey, I'm guilty of that. So I started a YouTube channel like 4 years ago, right? And I'm 38, so I started late in the game.
It's never too late.
And now, but I suffer from that impatience. I'm like, let's
do.
go. Like I've watched all my friends start YouTube channels in their teens, through their 20s, and now it's become, they've grown it successfully. And so I suffer from that, but I constantly try to put myself in check to realize that I haven't put the work in yet. It's like, it's still a new thing.
Okay, so I'll tell you something, because I've been watching all your accounts. Here's what you don't know. So you might have a greater impression on people than your friends that are doing the YouTube, because they just have an audience that watches their phone every couple days.
Right.
They enjoy the content, but you actually provide a meaningful like connection that you have with your audience. So you have like a core audience that's much stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate that, because that kind of helps put things into perspective when I'm actually creating or like trying to get motivated to get in the shop and film or whatever. It's like, man, this is such a slow growth. This is like so much work. But then realizing
you're thinking about numbers. That's where you're going wrong.
Right.
Think about the journey. And every time, and I'll tell this to all content creators, it's never about, because we talked about this last night, we're talking about like making the shots better and doing like higher quality content.
Right.
You're like, I'm not happy with how I'm doing it. I want to make it better. But it doesn't matter how the quality of the video is or the amount of content, it's the story.
Yeah.
And if you're telling the story the right way, if you sit down and you say, well, okay, I'm gonna create a journey from now to next year. By next year, I'm gonna build this and this car. I'm gonna do this and that to that car. I'm gonna go to this event. and I'm going to guide my audience through that.
Yeah.
That is what they want to see. That's how you connect with the audience and you build it.
Yeah.
You have the following coming back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's great. That's great advice. I mean, and I think in a general way, that's the way I look at it, because it's been my passion and been my craft first. The YouTube channel didn't come first, and then I'm like, let's do car stuff, and with that mentality.
Your Instagram stories were amazing for a long time, and I was thinking, I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, this should not be on a 24-hour thing that's gone forever.
And I appreciate that. And, you know, it was all kind of planned. Like I knew I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but before I did, I spent almost a full year pushing commentary Instagram stories specifically so I could articulate myself well when I spoke on the fly. So I would like compose myself well. I kind of knew where I was going when I was talking, because I wanted to start the YouTube channel and a podcast. So I kind of used Instagram as like my like proving grounds before the YouTube. So I'm glad you noticed it, because that was exactly what I was doing.
And as you were practicing, I'm thinking like, damn, this guy's good on video. I need to get like to that level when I'm on video for Vibrant.
Dang,
so
that's awesome.
You're practicing, and I'm thinking I got to be better. Like I got to be more like this guy.
That's awesome. I mean, and that also feeds back into itself, where it's like, all right, you know, like focus more, you know, and get into it. But
yeah, and patience. You just, at this point, you're in it. You have the audience. You just have to ride it out.
Yeah, you got to remember that too. And at the end of the day, just focus on the craft and be passionate about it, you know.
Yeah, and honestly, I look back at my old content that at the time I thought this is the most amazing thing ever.
Right.
And I'm like, that's garbage.
Yeah.
Because today I could produce the same thing far better.
I think as creatives, true creatives, you never become complacent, because you know, like complacency means the journey's over.
Yeah.
Because you just ride it out, and I don't think we'll ever do that. I think we'll always constantly be trying to grow or better ourselves or better the craft at which we're kind of on a journey with.
Yeah. No, and like I said, what's the most important thing? Story. Because you could watch an old movie, and it's not as good as the modern day technology of 8K and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if it's a good story, like Stand By Me, one of the movies,
captivates you.
Yeah, you'll keep watching it.
Yeah,
like, that's the greatest movie, because the story's there.
Yeah.
It's always about the story.
Well, dude, thank you so much for sitting down and doing this.
Of course.
This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is such a good day, such an awesome time to have you guys here. Glad you guys made it down from Toronto.
Yeah.
The first time at Riverside. A good year to be here. Good year to be here.
Perfect weather.
The weather's good.
Crazy crowd.
Biggest turnout yet.
Insane.
So I'm glad you guys made it. I'm looking forward to hanging out tomorrow morning.
Huge shout out to Mason Gavin, the guy that organized this show. I know he's been on your podcast before.
Yep.
He gave us a nice spot right in the front. He's like, I know you guys are coming from Canada. I gotta set you up somewhere nice. So
awesome.
Really appreciate that, Mason.
Big shout out to Mason on that. So Riverside 8, we're attempting to get these out while we're here.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for doing this,
awesome.
Art.
Thanks a lot, John.
Hey, see you, man.
Right, take care.